Hello everybody, and welcome to the channel. My name is Leo, and I will be your host today. Today I am in the very remote coal mining community of Stone, Kentucky. We decided we would kick off the first week of October with a little bit of a creepy Halloween legend. Well, possibly. That's what we're here to find out. We got a message from a viewer and a Facebook friend of ours that asked if we had ever heard about the witch's grave at Davis Memorial Gardens. Now, Heather and I have been here a few times, but we've never heard that one before. So, she explained where it was and said that she didn't know the entire story, but it's been called that for years. So of course that's going to raise our interest, and she even sent us a little map. Now the cemetery here is also called the Pinson Fork Cemetery and the Mills Branch Cemetery. Yeah, that's why it gets so complicated sometimes doing what we do. But either way, I can say for sure that it has a lot of coal miners and their families. See, this was a coal mining camp for a long time. The Red Robin building is right up the road from here, and the road built by Henry Ford when he came here and owned coal mines for a while. But I suppose that's a story for another day. My point is, it's a very interesting cemetery, to say the least. So the map said it's near the church on the right side toward the back of the cemetery. It's supposed to have backwards or upside down writing. What we really want to do is see if we can find this grave and look this up and see the crow up there. Nice touch. Look this old grave up and see if we can actually find anything unusual about this old grave. Will we find something odd that local people may have been afraid of back then? Or possibly just an immigrant who used another language on their headstone? So come along with us today and we'll find out. Now I've came out on this rainy old messy day here to try to find this old grave, and we're going to try to do some research and see what we can find out. Okay, now I have, as you can see, hang on, let me get it situated. There we go. Now you can see right here the map that she sent us. The front of the church, right hand side of church. Grave is said to be at the back of the cemetery. It's actually not a bad drawing, is it? Not that bad, to be honest. It's pretty close. You know, we didn't get the porch, but other than that, we're dead on the money, ain't we? So I guess where we're going is right out there, and we are looking for an old grave with backwards or upside down writing on it. That is our goal for the day. Here we go. Okay, not really seeing much of a path. I hear walnuts falling. Now there's a big tree over there. I bet that'd be creepy up here in the fall, you know, dark, foggy night. Walnuts falling out from the trees behind you. Now there's a lot of them here. We've done some stories here before. The crows add a really nice little Halloween kind of touch. Wow, look at me. Look at this. Already. I ain't even started yet and I'm covered. Okay, now there's the church. So we're going to work our way down this way and back. And we're looking for any stone that's out of the ordinary with backward or upside down writing. Coleman. I'm related to some Colemans. And you know how those things are, old legends. And it's like, you know, it's not just here either, you know, a hillbilly thing, you know. Technically speaking, Mrs. O'Leary's cow starting the fire is, you know, legend. No, there's no video of Mrs. O'Leary's cow knocking that lantern over. There's no proof. It's an interesting legend though, isn't it? Stella, wife of J.W. Justice, born 1898. Born 1898, died 1923. Pretty old grave. I know there's some 1800s in here. I don't see much down here. There's a lot of these deep weeds. Little trees, I guess. Trying to be careful here, watching for the ones I can see and not step on them. You know, like there's a yucca plant. You know, you try not to be disrespectful. You know, you don't walk on people's graves. Wow. Listen to that. Okay, barber. That one's a cross. That's a military. Looks like. I seem to get into some stuff, don't I? Yeah, that's a military. World War II. William Fleming. Navy. World War II. What's the dates on that? He's a vet. Willard Fleming, Kentucky. S1 USNR. World War II. 1912, 1959. I see more yucca plants, but no headstones. Now there's some, like you can tell there's some under the ground. There's some kind of stone right there. Man, I'm covered in those things. Look at that. Little burrs. Completely covered. They're all the way up my shirt and everything. But it also said at the back of the cemetery. So we'll kind of work our way down and work around. Some stones, a whole bunch of old stones. There's a lot of really old graves here. Chapman, Tiller. What's that one? That one looks old. Oh, it is. That is old. Whoa. Oh, the water's falling. W.A. Taylor. Cole, C-O-L-E. 29th Kentucky Infantry, 1806 to 1887. Wow. I told you there's some old graves in here. All right, where were we? We kind of glanced at those. We looked at these. Look at that. Completely covered in burrs. Runyon. What's that? Henry May. Polly May. Oh, hello. I found it. I found it. The one known as the witch grave. I'm not going to call it that, but okay, now. Wow. It's backwards. Let me get some of these sticks and stuff out of the way. And the vegetation. It is backwards. It's 100, all of it's backwards. Look at the stars. I'll try to read it just in a second. I just thought I'd show it to you real fast. Give you a good look at it. Now it says, backwards, Willard or Millard. I think Willard, that's a man. M-A-Y, no, that looks S-A-W-Y-A. Huh. Is it born is spelled backwards, B-O-R-N. Wow, died, D-I-E-D. Wow. Hang on. M-A-Y-W-A-S. Maywis. S-A-W. Saul. Y-A-M. That don't make sense either. Huh. What's this? Something A-M-U-R-Y. It could be February. There's a piece missing right here. There's a chunk missing. That could be F-E-B. No? Wouldn't be long enough, would it? Huh. S upside down question mark. Point 1 C or G. D-I-E died. 10 J-E-N January. J-E-N-U-R-Y. January. 01-33. T-H-Y. Thy will be done. And it's all backwards.
I took a few legible words like Willard May in January 1933, etc., things that stuck out, and I believe I found out who this may be. Willard May was the son of Henry May and Polly Bell Crabtree, both who are buried at this cemetery with headstones. His father Henry has a similar crude stone, but it's not quite the same. He was a brakeman at a local coal mine not far from the cemetery and lived at Mate Creek Middle Camp with 20 other boarders, according to census, a few years before he died. January 10th, in 1933, at 33 years old, Willard was killed by a gunshot. It doesn't say if this was self-inflicted or if it was inflicted by someone else. It just clearly says, twice, that no doctor was there. Now we can give this grave its memory back and document Willard's final resting place. He doesn't have to sit there anymore, being known as the witch grave or as the grave with weird writing. If someone looks it up, it'll be known as Willard May's grave. Rest in peace, Willard.
No, I don't see it anywhere. That is wild looking though, isn't it? It is a unique stone. I'll say that much. It's unique. Anything on the back? I'll look at, see if I can see any. Man, my shirt is sticking to me. HENRYMAY. I was just hoping to see if there might have been the last name similar. Ooh, there's something on the side. There is something written on the side of this. I only see we all. There's a 9. Leering. LEERING. Wow. I'll try to get a close-up, see if you guys can. Sometimes the camera will pick up things that the naked eye doesn't. So we'll get a real good look at it. There's writing back here too, on the back of it. It's long gone though. You can see letters. There's a C. There's more on this side too. Looks like MA. I see a 0. That's about all I see. Kind of made weird, isn't it? A little overhang on one side. Well, I'm not sure if we'll be able to find out much about it or not. But this sure is interesting, isn't it? Fascinating. There's more down here too. E. I see an E there, an E and a D. Of course, that don't mean, you know, I mean, if January spelled J-E-N-U-R-Y, January. Of course, I'm sure that it was a normal person like us, you know, like you and I, who just somehow got a reputation. You know, I've read stories where, like, some farmer, you know, some single woman did well, and the other farmers didn't do so well. They'd go after her thinking she was a witch or something. And, you know, you hear all kinds of stuff all throughout history, you know, stories that are very similar to that. You know, for some little silly reason, people get it in your head, you know, get crazy things in their heads, and just believe it from then on, that there's a witch buried up here. Wow. Interesting, isn't it? I can remember one time when I was little, probably around, I don't know, 8, 10, something like that, somewhere in that ballpark. There was this old lady lived in an apartment building, and she had a, you know, street facing back door, you know, that kind of thing. She was, you know, she was an older lady, you know, much 80s, 90s, I'm not sure, but she looked the part. She looked pretty scary, you know, I'll just be honest. To a little kid, she looked like something off of a Disney movie. She really did. And I can remember when I was little that all of the other kids saying that she was a witch, and I can remember a few adults saying it too. I cannot remember her name. I was trying to think of it just a second ago. It'll come to me. It will come to me. But I can remember that, for a while, I can remember all the kids, being scared of her, and stuff like that. And I can remember thinking, it's just a little old lady. And I saw her out there one day, and she had some little flower pots on her porch, and she was out there playing with her, in her flower pots. And I just went over and said hello. And turned out she was a really nice old lady. And she had stomach problems. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Broma Seltzer. It's the precursor to Alka-Seltzer, I do believe. But I can remember she used to get me all the time to go down to the local drugstore and get her Broma Seltzer because she had a bad stomach. And I can just remember that, all of my little grade school friends were terrified of this old lady because they had told each other and they'd been told that she was a witch, when in reality she was just a really nice old lady who had stomach problems. Makes you think, doesn't it? The legend and the truth are very rarely the same thing. Sometimes they say there will be a grain of truth in legends, and that's true sometimes. It is true, I'm sure, sometimes. But I'm sure sometimes too it's just all in your head. Either way, makes for interesting stories. And just keep in mind, it's a real person. Alright, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed our little Halloween episode. Coming out here today. This dreary, damp, cloudy, miserable day in October, the 1st of October, with the crows and the leaves starting to fall. It's in the air and a million birds. This is Leo, guys. We will see y'all next time. Happy Halloween, and Leo out.